Today I want to talk about something that's widely discussed but rarely fully understood, the growth mindset. We've all heard that having a growth mindset is essential for success, but what if I told you there's more to it than just thinking positively? What if I told you that the real power of a growth mindset is not just in the way you think, but in the actions you take and the transformation that occurs with a growth mindset is often defined as the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication, effort, and learning. It's a popular concept frequently shared in personal development circles, but there's a deeper truth beneath the surface. When people think about the growth mindset, many focus on the idea of learning from failure. While it's true that failure plays a significant role in personal growth, what people rarely mention is that the real power of a growth mindset lies not in simply accepting failure, but in choosing how you respond when you encounter it. We all face obstacles, setbacks, and moments when things don't go according to plan. It's inevitable. But here's the key difference between those who experience growth and those who stay stuck. It's not the obstacles themselves, but the way we respond to them. Life doesn't ask if you'll face challenges. It asks what you'll do when they appear, and your response will determine your path forward. In life, many people have a tendency to personalize failure. They let a single setback define them. Maybe you didn't get that promotion. Maybe your business venture didn't take off as planned. Maybe your relationship didn't work out the way you hoped. It's easy to internalize these moments and let them become a reflection of your self-worth. When that happens, it's as though you're saying, I failed, therefore I am a failure. But here's the truth. Failure is an event, not an identity. What you choose to do with that event is what shapes who you are becoming. The growth mindset shifts the focus away from failure itself and towards response. It's about recognizing that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, but more importantly, it's about actively deciding how you're going to respond in the face of those challenges. When you view failure as an event that you can learn from, you take away its power over your identity. The real power lies in what you do after you experience failure. When you're faced with adversity, the growth mindset empowers you to choose resilience over resignation. It encourages you to view setbacks not as dead ends, but as detours leading you to a better version of yourself. It's not about ignoring the emotions that come with failure or pretending that setbacks don't hurt. It's about choosing to not let those emotions control you and deciding that you will move forward no matter what. The beauty of this mindset lies in its ability to reframe adversity. Let's say you failed a major exam. Instead of viewing it as an indication that you're not smart enough, a growth mindset prompts you to ask, what can I learn from this experience? How can I improve next time? You begin to see failure not as something to be feared, but as something to be understood and embraced. Moreover, adopting this mindset requires an intentional effort to detach from the notion that success is immediate or linear. A growth mindset teaches you that growth is often messy, that it happens in stages, and that the most profound lessons often come from moments of discomfort. Success doesn't come overnight, and setbacks aren't signs of incompetence. They are simply a part of the process, a process that requires persistence, patience, and a willingness to learn. When you choose to respond to failure with resilience, you're not just learning from it, you're using it to fuel your growth. You begin to see challenges as a natural part of your journey, not as obstacles that are trying to stop you. Every failure becomes a stepping stone, each one building on the next. Over time, these moments of failure become less about the setback itself and more about how you rise, how you adapt, and how you grow stronger in the process. One of the key aspects of responding to failure with a growth mindset is the ability to reflect without judgment. Many people react to failure by being self-critical, by focusing on what went wrong and berating themselves for their mistakes. However, reflection in a growth mindset is about asking constructive questions like, what could I have done differently? What can I improve on for next time? Rather than why am I not good enough? This process of constructive reflection allows you to separate your sense of self-worth from your performance. It encourages you to acknowledge that you are capable of learning, adapting, and changing. You are not defined by your failures. Instead, you are defined by your ability to keep moving forward in the face of them. At its core, the growth mindset is not about viewing life as a series of easy wins, but rather as a dynamic journey of development. Every challenge is a lesson, every setback is an opportunity, and your ability to choose your response will determine whether you rise or fall. In the end, it's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up stronger and wiser than before. This is the power of the growth mindset. It teaches you that failure is never final. And with the right response, every setback is just the beginning of a greater success story. When we talk about a growth mindset, it's often presented as simply working hard, putting in effort, and being consistent. While these elements are certainly crucial, there's a deeper truth that many miss. The true power of a growth mindset lies in having faith in your own potential. It's not just about hard work for the sake of working hard. It's about believing that you are capable of more than you may initially realize. Without faith in your potential, the effort you put in can easily become a form of toil, leading to burnout and frustration. Belief in your potential is what propels you forward when things get tough. When you genuinely believe that you have the ability to grow and improve, your efforts are not only more meaningful, but they also become more aligned with your higher purpose. This belief transforms your actions from mere effort to intentional actions driven by vision. It's about working with the conviction that the work you're putting in is leading you towards something bigger than just a finished project or a completed task. One of the first things to recognize is that faith in your potential isn't something that comes naturally for everyone. In a world that often focuses on results and outcomes, it's easy to forget that we are constantly evolving, growing, and expanding. We tend to focus on what we haven't achieved yet, forgetting that the very act of striving toward our goals is a testament to the potential we hold. Faith in your potential means trusting that growth is not just possible, but inevitable if you remain consistent and open to learning along the way. It's understanding that your capacity is not fixed, and each step forward builds upon the last, leading you to new heights. Without belief in your own potential, your efforts will lack direction. Think about it. How often have you worked hard toward a goal only to feel like you're not getting anywhere? It's because without a deep-rooted belief that you can improve, hard work can feel like you're pushing against a wall. You may put in the hours, but the results don't reflect the effort, and that's often because your belief system is misaligned. When you have faith in your potential, you view challenges not as roadblocks, but as growth opportunities. You see your failures not as reflections of your inadequacy, but as essential stepping stones on your path toward becoming better. Faith in your potential also allows you to cultivate patience. In a world that demands instant gratification, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind or failing when results don't come quickly. But when you have faith that growth is a process, you can embrace the journey instead of rushing the outcome. This patience allows you to stay focused on the long-term vision, knowing that every effort is contributing to your growth, even if you can't immediately see the fruits of your labor. It's this faith that keeps you going through the tough times, knowing that the effort you're putting in today will pay off tomorrow. Faith in your potential isn't just about believing you can accomplish great things. It's about recognizing that you are already capable of more than you're currently achieving. Everyone has untapped potential inside them, but without faith in that potential, it will never be realized. Many people feel stuck or defeated because they don't see themselves as capable of the success they desire. But the truth is Every person has the power to change, grow, and evolve. The only thing standing between where you are now and where you want to be is your belief that you can get there. A growth mindset with faith in your potential also transforms how you see other people. When you believe in your own potential, you begin to see the potential in others as well. You stop viewing people as fixed in their current states and start recognizing their capacity for change. This not only strengthens your relationships, but also creates an environment where growth is encouraged both individually and collectively. Faith in your potential doesn't mean you wait for something external to change. It means recognizing that you are the one who has the power to create change within yourself. It's a mindset shift from thinking that success comes from external factors, luck, timing, other people's help, to understanding that success begins from within. This kind of faith is rooted in confidence, not arrogance. It's not about thinking you know everything or that you don't need help. It's about recognizing your ability to learn, adapt, and grow through life's challenges. When you truly have faith in your potential, you don't fear failure because you understand that every failure is just another lesson on the road to success. You embrace it as an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Moreover, faith in your potential also helps you to build self-discipline. When you believe in what you're capable of achieving, you can endure the daily grind and the challenges that come with it. You see the sacrifices not as burdens, but as necessary steps toward your ultimate goal. This belief fuels your determination and provides the internal motivation to keep going, even when the external rewards aren't immediately visible. Ultimately, having faith in your potential is about shifting your perspective from limitations to possibilities. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities, understanding that failure is not an end, but a part of the process, and knowing that your efforts are never wasted because you are always growing. When you have this kind of faith, it transforms not only how you work, but also how you live, because you no longer define yourself by your current circumstances, but by the person you are becoming through your growth. This is the power of a growth mindset fueled by faith in your potential. When you believe in your ability to grow, you create the foundation for the life you've always dreamed of. A growth mindset is often framed as a way of thinking that allows individuals to see challenges as opportunities, to embrace failure as a learning experience, and to persist in the face of adversity. However, one aspect of the growth mindset that is often overlooked is the importance of focusing on the bigger picture. In a world that encourages immediate results and quick wins, it's easy to get caught up in short-term outcomes and forget about the long-term vision. The truth is that a true growth mindset involves not just thinking about the next achievement or milestone, but about the entire journey, embracing the process of growth and understanding that success is not an event, but a lifelong journey. When we focus too much on immediate results, we often set ourselves up for disappointment. In today's world of social media and constant comparison, we're conditioned to measure success by external markers, likes, followers, promotions, and achievements. While these milestones can be important, they often represent only a small fraction of the larger picture. If you focus solely on the short-term outcomes, you may miss the deeper growth that's taking place beneath the surface. It's important to remember that growth is not always linear. There are periods of struggle, frustration, and even failure that may not immediately translate into visible success. But that doesn't mean that progress isn't being made. The power of a growth mindset comes from its ability to help you stay focused on the bigger picture, even when the immediate results aren't what you expected. When you understand that growth takes time and that success is often the result of cumulative incremental efforts, You're able to stay motivated even when things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like. This shift in perspective allows you to embrace the process rather than just the end result. It's about recognizing that each small step forward is part of a much larger journey, and that every challenge or setback is not a reflection of your inadequacy, but a necessary part of the overall process of growth. One of the keys to focusing on the bigger picture is developing patience. In a world that emphasizes instant gratification, it can be incredibly challenging to embrace the idea that some goals take time to achieve. The growth mindset encourages you to take a step back and consider the long-term impact of your efforts. This requires a deep sense of patience and trust in the process. Success doesn't happen overnight, and growth is not always immediately visible. But when you maintain your focus on the bigger picture, you begin to understand that the obstacles and setbacks are just temporary. They are part of a much larger story, a story that unfolds over time and that ultimately leads to greater success and fulfillment. Another important aspect of focusing on the bigger picture is understanding that success is not just about external outcomes, but about the person you become along the way. It's easy to think of success in terms of what you achieve, whether it's a promotion, a new business venture, or financial independence. But true success goes beyond these markers. It's about the growth you experience as an individual, the lessons you learn, and the resilience you develop as you face challenges. Focusing on the bigger picture means understanding that your growth is as important, if not more so, than any external achievement. When you shift your focus to becoming the best version of yourself, you start to see success in a whole new light. The process of growth, with all of its challenges and setbacks, becomes just as meaningful as the eventual outcome. Moreover, focusing on the bigger picture helps you align your efforts with your true purpose. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life and lose sight of why you're doing what you're doing. When you focus solely on the immediate tasks and outcomes, it's easy to become disconnected from your deeper motivations and long-term vision. But when you step back and consider the bigger picture, you're reminded of why you started in the first place. This alignment with your purpose provides the motivation you need to keep going, even when things get tough. It's not about achieving a specific goal for the sake of achievement. It's about fulfilling a deeper purpose and living in alignment with your values. Focusing on the bigger picture also allows you to see the interconnectedness of your experiences. Every challenge, every setback, and every triumph is part of a larger narrative that contributes to your overall growth. When you focus on the short term, you may see each setback as a failure, but when you zoom out and see the bigger picture, you realize that each experience is a piece of the puzzle contributing to your development. This perspective allows you to approach challenges with a sense of curiosity and resilience rather than fear or frustration. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me, you begin to ask, what can I learn from this experience? Every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow, and every setback becomes a stepping stone toward greater success. In conclusion, focusing on the bigger picture is one of the most powerful aspects of a growth mindset. It allows you to stay focused on your long-term vision even when the immediate results aren't what you expected. It helps you develop patience, align your efforts with your purpose, and appreciate the person you're becoming along the way. When you can shift your focus from short-term outcomes to long-term growth, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. You begin to see success not as a destination, but as a continuous journey of growth and transformation. And when you embrace the bigger picture, you find that every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. In closing, I want you to remember this. A growth mindset is not about thinking positively. It's about deciding to think with purpose, to act with faith, and to focus on the long-term vision. It's about knowing that your potential is limitless and that no setback is permanent unless you choose to make it so. So embrace the growth mindset not just as a concept, but as a way of living. Choose to grow, choose to evolve, and choose to transform not just your circumstances, but the very person you are becoming. Thank you.